Hey everybody, Keith Gary, recording with intention. Today I want to talk to you about pickup patterns, right? So this is in association with microphones. What are pickup patterns? All right, let's go over them. First is the most common type of pickup pattern. It's called cardioid, all right? So cardioid means it's like the mic is like a flashlight. It's like whatever you point it at, it shines like a light on it, right? Pretty wide, not too narrow, not super wide, but just this general, you shine it at what you want, and that's what you're going to get. So think of like an SM58 as like a stage mic, right? So there's a symbol associated with all these pickup patterns. So the cardioid symbol looks like this, right there, okay? And that means that the mic is right here pointing this way. So it picks up all of this area, right? What you're shining it at. And it rejects from this back area. So it blocks sound from entering from the back. So this is why, let's use the SM58 example again on stage. If you have an SM58 pointed up at the vocal of a singer, you put the monitor that the musician is listening to, right, the wedge, you put it with the speaker facing the very back of the microphone. That way the microphone is rejecting the leakage from the monitor, the bleed from the monitor, and you get more vocal, which is what you want, right? So pickup patterns, one of the main things they do is they show you where the rejection points are, so you can use those rejection points to your advantage. In a studio, when you're recording ensembles, right, more than one musician at a time, you must use your rejection and pickup patterns to your advantage. You'll achieve much better isolation that way, which means the tracks are manageable. When you pull up a fader, you want the sound of that instrument on the fader, not a little bit of what you want and then a bunch of other stuff around it that you have to compete with. So pickup patterns can be a really helpful tool in using their rejections to get more isolated signals. So that's cardioid, okay? The next kind is bidirectional, okay? Looks like the infinity symbol or two snowmen, right? Looks like that. So what bidirectional means is it picks up from the front of the microphone and it picks up from the back of the microphone. So ribbon mics are, 99% of ribbon mics are inherently in figure 8 pickup pattern. A lot of condensers are multi-pattern, meaning there's a switch on them and you can go between different pickups. So if you bought a mic that has a switch on it with these different symbols, that's what it means. It means it can go into any of these pickup patterns. So how to use them is obviously really important, right? So figure 8 microphones, I love. I love figure 8 microphones. Functionally, what's a really functional use? Like if you're interviewing somebody and there's two people talking and you want to pick them both up on one microphone, a bidirectional right in the middle would pick up this singer and this singer at the same time. But what a lot of people don't talk about, and what I love figure 8 for, is the extreme rejection points, the null point here in the center. So not only does it pick up from the front of the mic and the back of the mic, but it extremely rejects all along the center. So if you point the side address at something you don't want to get, it will take it out. So I have some videos up on this about recording acoustic guitar and vocals this way, and where you can have a guitar mic really close to the mouth, but point the side address at the vocal, and it just gets the guitar. Almost completely cancels out the vocal. It's a really, really, really nifty trick. So anytime you want to extremely reject something, figure 8 can really be your best friend. Now, where that might get you into trouble is because it picks up from the front and the back side, it tends to get more room noise, right? Because it's not just picking up from the front and rejecting the back. It's picking up from the front and the back. So the back side, if it's pointed at a really hard reflective surface, it can get some splashback that you don't want. So all you have to do to mitigate that is put some foam on the back side. Just kill the back side of the ribbon or the figure 8 condenser, so that you're not getting the other side of that microphone and you still get the extreme rejection null point. One of my mentors, Bobby Arnold, told me this great trick. He was recording a blues singer and he couldn't sing with headphones on. It just drove him crazy. So Bobby put a figure 8 mic on the vocal, and at the 2 side address points, he set up 2 loudspeakers. So the singer was just hearing like near fields and then singing into a figure 8, and the null points completely blocked out the loudspeakers, and it was just vocal. It was just like a minimal amount of like headphone bleed. It was amazing. So it's a really useful tool that I don't see being utilized as often as it should. So figure 8, really, really nifty trick. Good friend. Okay, what else do we have? We have omnidirectional microphones, right? And they are just represented by a circle. So those are the 3 most common patterns: are cardioid like a flashlight, figure 8 from front and back, extreme rejection in the center, and omni. Omni means it picks up from all directions. There's a few mics like the old Neumann CM50, and I know Wonder makes a CM50 version that's beautiful, and it actually has a spherical capsule. The capsule is actually a sphere, which I would love for Omni microphones, right? So Omni's great for when you want a really natural blend of the air and what's coming at the air. So think of like a choir or an orchestra. They blend themselves beautifully, right? You have the instruments all playing as an ensemble, and that sound bounces off the walls, and that's the experience of a concert hall. There's a lot of air, there's a lot of reverberation. So Omni mics at a distance will pick up that blend. So again, use your ear to find these spots, right? If you're recording a classical record in a hall, go up the steps and find that crucial distance between the direct sound that's on stage and the reflections coming off all the walls of the hall. Where is that blend pleasing to your ear? That's where the microphone goes. So you can also experiment with going way up in the air, right? A lot of people put Omni mics on huge mic stands way up to capture all that room sound up in the air, which is cool. Always experiment. Always experiment and listen and guess at what it's going to sound like. Okay, so that's a fun game to play. I wonder what it would sound like if, and then try it, and then go check it out and see what it actually sounds like. And that's how you start to build, in an empirical way, your sonic vocabulary. And you start to like mine all of these little tools that you get to keep in your little handbag of tricks. And the more you learn them and can predict what something is going to sound like, the more you're able to pull that trick out of your bag and know what you're going to do with it and use it with intention. Okay? So there's a couple other things about pickup patterns. There's also hyper-cardioid and super-cardioid, okay? And that's like a cardioid mic, and that's a flashlight, but it narrows the beam, okay? So it doesn't pick up this wide image. You have to be right on axis on the mic to get the sound. And it looks like this. So it's a tighter cardioid, and it's got this little bit in the back. So why this is important is because the rejection points are here and here. It picks up a little bit from the back. For some reason, electronics people can tell you why. I can't. I just know that it's true. When you narrow that beam, it picks up a little bit, 180 on the back side. Why is this important? Well, let's say you're using a hypercardioid stage mic instead of a cardioid stage mic. I love the Neumann KMS 105 stage microphone. It's a condenser handheld stage microphone. It sounds great, especially on females. It gets all the airy detail stuff that a condenser gets, but it's built for the stage. So it's hypercardioid. So if you put your wedge right at the back, like you would an SM58, it's going to be picking that up. And you're going to get feedback or not as clear of a signal. If you move the wedge over here so that it's pointing at the rejection point, it will reject it. So I can almost guarantee you, if you see a stage setup where there's a vocal mic and then there's 2 wedges, like a little 2 monitor wedges in front and a little bit of space between them, that's a hypercardioid mic. So there's a stereo image or a stereo monitor coming back at the singer, and they're using the rejection points of the hypercardioid mic. So this may be baby talk for most people, but if you don't know what pickup patterns are, I hope this was useful. Cardioid, hypercardioid, bidirectional, omni. Experiment and have fun. Like, Subscribe, share, click the bell, all that good stuff. Keith Gary, Recording with Intention, and I'll see you next time.